Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to Second Take. It's Vishwa here, and today we're going to be covering another game-changing off-season move and discussing a very good basketball team, the Boston Celtics. As the majority of you guys know, the Celtics are one of the league's best teams that made it to the NBA Finals last year, but unfortunately lost to the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. However, this season, the Celtics have added a key piece in Malcolm Brogdon to the already talented roster, and also added the veteran Danilo Gallinari. But in today's video, I'll first be talking a bit on the Celtics' past season, including what worked and what didn't. Then I'll talk briefly on the big trade that the team made, as well as the Gallinari signing, and how the moves impact their outlook for next season. Finally, with several factors coming into play, we'll answer the question of whether the Boston Celtics can actually win the NBA Finals next season. So before I get into the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I promise you will not regret it, and let's get straight into the video. To start off, the Boston Celtics finished last season with a 51-31 record at second in the Eastern Conference. They would then go on to defeat the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Miami Heat to reach the finals against the Golden State Warriors, who they would unfortunately lose in 6 games too. There are several reasons why this team was such a huge success this season. Firstly, the primary storyline suggested that the Celtics were not even in play-in position at a point this year around January 28th, as the team had a 25-25 record and sat around 10 to 11 seed in the East. The majority of the NBA fans were thinking the Celtics were a complete failure, the duo of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would never work out, and the team won't even make the playoffs. However, as you see here, the team hit a 9-game winning streak in the first half of February and only lost twice in the whole month. The even bigger shock was that after sitting at that 25-25 record, the team went an unbelievable 26-6 in their remaining games to finish second in the conference. A lot of this was due to great coaching from coach Ime Udoka and the excellent play from their 2 All-Stars, Tatum and Brown, as well as how good the team was defensively, with Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart and shot blocker Robert Williams. By the time the playoffs arrived, the Celtics were seen as a team nobody wanted to play. However, fans were still doubting the team, as they thought that the team's regular season success simply would not translate to the postseason, where there is a higher intensity and level of basketball. The whole basketball world also thought that the Brooklyn Nets, led by Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, would eliminate the Celtics with ease. However, they were in for a shock, as not only did the Celtics beat them, but it was also in a dominating sweep, with the whole team collectively locking up Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. The team would also defeat the Bucks and Heat in 7 games due to stellar star play and unbelievable overall team defense. And finally, the team fell to the Warriors in 6 games in the finals. The major reasons that the team lost are because even though the Celtics defense was among the best all season, they simply could not contain the fury of the Warriors offense, specifically Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. Another reason was because of how poor star player Jason Tatum played, as Andrew Wiggins held him to 37% shooting with his tenacious defense, and Tatum only had 12 and 13 points in games 1 and 6 respectively. A lot of clowning was also done on Jason Tatum due to him previously texting Kobe Bryant that he's got him. But now, Celtics GM Brad Stevens has made some game-changing moves this offseason. Firstly, the Celtics traded big man Daniel Tice, wing Aaron Nesmith, forward Juwan Morgan, and guards Nick Stauskas and Malik Fitz, and their 2023 first-round draft pick for Malcolm Brogdon. In my opinion, this is an absolutely amazing trade for the Celtics, because if you take a look at the trade, the Celtics gave up basically a bunch of useless role players that don't even play rotational minutes for a near all-star guard. They didn't even have to give up anyone valuable, being the 2 All-Stars veteran Al Horford, Marcus Smart, or even solid role players like Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Derek White, or Peyton Pritchard. As for how good Brogdon was throughout his career, firstly, he won the Rookie of the Year award in his 2016-17 season. In fact, in his final year with the Bucks, he became the 8th player in NBA history to become a part of the 50-40-90 club. He served as a solid point guard for the Bucks, which earned him a lucrative 4-year, $85 million deal with the Indiana Pacers. It was in Indiana where he really shined, showing his playmaking, scoring, and two-way ability. He was able to form really good chemistry with the bigs Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner, and really played well. In the 2020-21 season, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on 39% three-point shooting. Unfortunately, his numbers did take a dip last season, as he only put up 19 points a game, and his three-point shooting also declined to 31%. His biggest downside was not being able to stay healthy, as he got injured pretty often, especially last season. Brogdon only played 36 of the 82 games last season, but when he did play, his star play did represent flashes that he could be a terrific above-average contributor for Boston. Though Brogdon is not an all-star, for what the Celtics had to give up, acquiring him was a huge steal. The Celtics also acquired the stretch forward Danilo Gallinari in free agency to a 2-year, $13 million deal. For those who don't know him, Gallinari is a 14-year vet in the NBA that has been quite the journeyman, first playing for the New York Knicks, then the Nuggets, then the Clippers, Thunder, Hawks, and now the Boston Celtics. His best years were easily on the Nuggets and Clippers, where he averaged around 18 to 19 points a game, 5 rebounds and 2 assists, and more importantly, for the past 4 years, Gallinari has shot an outstanding 41% from three-point range on average. As of recently, his stats have dipped on the Atlanta Hawks, as he only averaged 11 to 13 points a game, but this was also only on 24 minutes a game coming off the bench the majority of the time. Although the best years are behind him, as he's 33 years old now, Gallinari is still an excellent proven three-point shooter and can also operate in the post for mid-range fadeaways or find open guys on the perimeter. Now I'll be talking about how Malcolm Brogdon and Danilo Gallinari will contribute to the Celtics next season and how the team's rotation will fold out. Now keep in mind the offseason is still not yet over and the Celtics could still sign more assets, but I definitely think the Celtics should sign 1 or 2 more big men for the front court insurance to complete the team. Some candidates include rim protector Hassan Whiteside, Moses Brown, DeMarcus Cousins, LaMarcus Aldridge, or even former Celtic Bruno Fernando. I feel like any of these players could fill the backup center spot really well, and they won't even have to play many minutes because most of the time I could see the Celtics going smaller with Al Horford sliding over to the 5 at quite a few times. As for the recent reports, unlike what some would think, Boston has said that they view Malcolm Brogdon as more of a 6th man in their roster as opposed to starting. I likely see the Celtics running the same starting lineup of Marcus Smart at the 1, Jaylen Brown at the 2, Jason Tatum at the 3, Al Horford at the 4, and Robert Williams at the 5. And in the second unit, I would see Brogdon at the 1, Derek White at the 2, Gallinari at the 3, Grant Williams at the 4, and for now, they only have subpar big man Luke Cornett at the 5, but I likely see that position changing in the near future when they add one of the bigs I mentioned or anyone else. And the third string would consist of guys like Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, and rookie J.D. Davidson to develop. Now, as we examine this lineup, I think this has the potential to become one of the most dominant rotations. Malcolm Brogdon has proven himself excellently as a shot maker, playmaker, and defender, and while the Celtics have great offensive talent in the starting lineup, they lack that same offense off the bench. Peyton Pritchard did show great three-point shooting flashes at times, but he was often a liability in the postseason when his shot wasn't falling, and he was also terrible on defense. Derek White was a very solid role player, but was not a very consistent shooter. But now you have Brogdon, who provides a bit of everything off the bench. In addition, when you combine Brogdon with Gallinari off the bench, that just adds a heavy amount of offensive firepower in terms of shooting, playmaking, and spacing, both which the Celtics struggled with in the finals against the Warriors, as at points nobody could even make a shot. Brogdon can form good pick-and-pop chemistry with Gallinari, and both could also play off the ball as a shooter in crunch time, where Brown and Tatum are controlling the rock most of the time. When you have a great starting lineup combined with those 2 offensive guys on the bench, with defensive-minded players like Derek White, Grant Williams, and another solid defensive big, I think there isn't a doubt of whether this team has the potential to win the chip or not. Overall, to conclude, I definitely think that the Celtics have what it takes to win next year's championship, but you can never be sure as so many things could go wrong in the roster, and there are also several other contenders out there on the rise. The Warriors would be looking to defend their title. The Bucks were also very dangerous with a healthy Chris Middleton running it back. The Clippers also get a healthy Kawhi, PG, and John Wall this time, and many more teams such as whoever gets Kevin Durant, the Suns, Heat, Mavericks, Sixers, and more. But if this new Celtics roster adds a solid backup center, stays healthy, and gains good chemistry, they definitely have the highest odds to win the chip. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are about the Celtics' new roster, and if they can win the championship next year. Also comment down below your predictions and any other ideas you'd like to see me produce. Please smash that like button if you haven't already, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.